So if you watched my last video, you'll know that I'm in the process of trying to lose weight. And so this video might seem a little bit odd with that, but it does make sense. Trust me. So I'm a big believer that exclusionary diets don't work. If you cut things out, all that ends up happening is you end up wanting and craving the things that you've cut out, and you either end up cross with yourself, you end up breaking your diet, you end up doing whatever you shouldn't do. Eating well is about choosing what you want to eat and having nice things and mixing that in with the things that you're gonna have that will also help you lose weight. So if you followed this channel, you know that I'm doing meal replacement shakes for breakfast and lunch, but then dinners get to be great because I'm really controlling my calories during the day, so I get to have really lovely dinners. And Fridays are a pretty special day in our house. We do dirty Fridays. We go all out, nice, indulgent, fantastic meals, and this week is a little bit special. So full disclosure, Your Fork, which is the website that I'm talking about here, they reached out to me and they said, look, we like your videos. You've done fantastic videos on food parcels before. Would you like to try one of ours? Now, I think that's very generous of them and it's very kind for them to say they're fantastic videos. I'll leave that to them to decide. But I said, yeah, absolutely. I had a look at their website. I did send them an email saying, do I have to be polite? Do I have to be nice? Do I have to just sort of say how wonderful everything is? And they went, no, try it, use it. Just give us an honest feedback, make a pretty video and tell us what you think. So pick a meal and choose what you want. So I went with now, my Spanish is not my strong point. I'm gonna explain that straight off the bat, but I think it's Dos Mas. So I went with the Dos Mas taco box. 3-course taco box. Dos Mas are a street food vendor in Lewisham Market. It's a pair of twins that do tacos, and if you look at their Instagram, looks good. So I'm excited about this box. This is a 3-course meal designed by them, and that's what Your Fork does. It's a little bit like Gusto and HelloFresh, where it's a food box, everything's all prepared. They make sure there's no food wastage or anything like that, but they pick different chefs and different restaurants to curate boxes that then they send you that, and they've got it on a rotation, so every couple of weeks they get a new person and the old person goes off and you get all these exciting things. So on there there's like a Masterchef Michelin star type dinner, which I thought about for a while, and then they said it was 2 hours of cooking, and I thought, not sure I want to do 2 hours of cooking on a Friday night, and I fancy some good dirty food, so I'm excited about this. But yeah, I'm definitely going to try some of their other, well, let's see how this one goes. But I think I'd like to try some of their other boxes. They look good and they look interesting, so this is going to be the first one to try. So box arrived today. Let's see what's in the box, and then let's get cooking. Okay, so box arrived today. It was all nicely delivered. So yeah, basically contact-free. What have we got? Ooh, pretty pictures of what we're going to make. So recipe cards for the 3 courses. Your ultimate night in with Dos Mas, menu, explanation. Actually, I forgot to say, they actually sent me a really nice email yesterday that just explained what I was going to receive and give me a few hints and tips and bits and pieces. Oh, nice. One for you. And one for me, there you go. So they sent me an email yesterday saying that there was a shopping list of just a few bits and pieces I need to get. It's pretty much everything is in here, but they said needed double cream, eggs, ice, olive oil, butter. So it's all fairly simple things, and I guess that's just the stuff that's more difficult for them to actually send. It also had a link to a Spotify playlist to listen to get us in the mood, and it had a few hints and tips and bits and pieces. It explained some of the ingredients in the box. So one of the things it said was, because there's tostadas, the tostadas are very crispy, and they said sometimes they break. They said it will work and taste really nice even if they're broken, but actually if you want to make fresh tostadas at home, how to do it. It was impressively well laid out and sorted out and thought about. And yeah, just an explanation of some of the ingredients are in the box. So I thought it was a really nice concept point. All eco packaging. So cupboard, fridge, beers, and ingredients for the margaritas. But first, we do margaritas because I'm quite excited. It's Friday night. Let's have a drink. Right, so suitably refreshed. Ah, it's lovely. And to be honest, like, I was about to say it's a really lovely margarita. It's a lovely margarita, because frankly, lime, Cointreau and tequila, how can you go wrong? That's, yeah, tasty. Yeah, so we're gonna do the shrimp tostadas. We've been having a talk. It's a Friday evening. We've had a very long week this week. We're gonna be moving house shortly. We're not quite sure we've got the energy to do full 3 courses tonight. So what we may do, and you'll probably be able to tell because there may be a costume change. We're gonna do starters and main tonight, and we might do the churros tomorrow, because yeah, by the time we've put Isla to bed and all that sort of stuff, it's quite nice to be able to have a sit down at the end of a Friday. So, starters, grilled shrimp tostada. Right, let's get on to starter. So we made our grilled shrimp tostados. That margarita was lovely, not on an empty stomach. I'm enjoying this way more than I should have done. It's been great fun. It's really interesting. I made the reference earlier to some kind of Gusto HelloFresh stuff. This isn't Gusto HelloFresh. It's much more involved cooking. Mostly it's been prep work for this one, but it's definitely more involved. I'd say I often recommend Gusto and HelloFresh for people that don't necessarily enjoy cooking but want to try more. I think you need to know how to cook a little better for these, certainly. The guidelines have been fantastic, but you need to understand a little bit more about food to really enjoy and get the best out of this. But it's fantastic. Like, you don't need to be a chef. You just need to know when something is char grilled rather than burnt and those sorts of things. But yeah, you don't often get micro coriander in HelloFresh. I'm not gonna make you watch me eat these. I say these, it's one for me and one for Emma, but we're not gonna make you watch us eat them because that's a bit weird. But yeah, we'll come back for main course in a minute. Right, starter done. That was delicious. It's really unusual to get good big meaty shrimp, and they were some of the biggest shrimp I've seen for home cooking. They're like restaurant shrimp, which makes sense because that's what they're after. So that was delicious. To be honest, I could have done with more. And one was fine. And we're gonna have a main course now, but I could have eaten them all night. I don't need that. I do need that, but they were good. Right, let's do the steak tacos. So, next day, as I thought, we got to the end of those tacos. Those tacos were fantastic. Actually, sort of deceptively simple in that it was steak, onion, salsa, chives, but actually the flavors in that salsa, the blood orange and the tomato, just fantastic. And that was such a good piece of steak. It was just delicious. And so, yeah, we had our tacos and then decided we'd quite like to chill out rather than cook churros. So doing churros next day, and I've made the choux pastry. Essentially it's choux pastry. I'm sure it's probably not choux pastry, but it's very choux pastry-esque. And we're gonna fry up the churros and then have that as our pudding and treat today. All done. Those churros were fantastic. They were not traditional shaped churros. I didn't have a star-shaped tip for the icing bag, but yeah, they were good. They were good. So what did I think of it? And cost as well. So the entire thing would have been £80, and that included the margaritas, the beers, 3 courses. I actually think for everything that we got, I was a little bit skeptical about the cost. Prior to receiving it, I thought it was quite expensive, but actually, based on the portion sizes, based on the drinks, based on the whole experience, I thought actually it was, you're not gonna do it every week. You're definitely not gonna do it every day. You're not gonna do it every week. As a special treat, it's special and it's good and it's fantastic. I'd actually say you're not gonna do it every week for the prep side of things as well. I think I've become very used to HelloFresh and Gusto, which are, you can kind of just take a running leap at them. You know roughly what's going to happen. You've got all the ingredients there and everything is set out that you don't have to look and prep beforehand. This is a more complex cooking experience. So actually it would have been beneficial to have read everything beforehand and then potentially prepped some things. I actually thought about it afterwards and thought, had we prepped the salsa beforehand, had we prepped the guacamole beforehand, had we prepped the churro batter beforehand, essentially we could have just cooked it through in one go. Like making the salsa was a relatively involved process, making the guac was a relatively involved process. And so it was fantastic. And as a date night thing, me and Emma just loved being able to cook together and work together. It was fantastic. It was really good fun. Absolutely loved it. Would I recommend it? Yes, absolutely, without hesitation. For a date night, special event, that sort of thing, I think it was fantastic. The food was phenomenal. There are these like restaurantkits.co.uk and various things that it's much more, they send you the prepped meal and then you just need to reheat it and present it. And those are great, but don't have the same sort of interactivity to it. That's what I loved about this one. The portion sizes were, I think, actually pretty good. In fact, they're very generous. What I would say, we've still got guac now. We had burgers earlier and had the guac on burgers, and there's still some more. I had them with some chips yesterday, and yeah, it's, and the salsa as well. There was some of that left over, and there's plenty of the churro mix left over as well. So the portions are generous. I really enjoyed it. It was a really good experience, so I would recommend it thoroughly, and I think I might try some of their others. In terms of cooking times, they suggested 1 hour to cook the whole dinner. I think that's optimistic. I think if you read everything through, you had everything laid out, you knew exactly what you were doing, you didn't have to keep going back to the recipe cards. Obviously, we were filming it as well. To do the 2 courses for us with filming and making drinks and talking and doing all that, it was 2 hours. But actually, it was 2 good fun hours. And having a small baby, we don't often get just 2 hours to just focus on one task. It was a pleasure. It was an absolute pleasure. Yeah, if you've got any questions, let me know down below. I'll link to Your Fork and Dos Mas down below. If you've got any questions, reach out to them as well. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more of my weight loss journey. Like the video if you liked it. Otherwise, thank you very much. Bye-bye.